Entering King's Road. 3, 2, 1.
So the gaming found its way into my life mostly because my dad. He would babysit me when mom was at work and he was home after his job, and he'd sit me in my little chair and he'd play the games. My first memory would probably actually be halfway through playing with my dad in Halo. Like, I just remember seeing like a screen and I didn't know what was going on, but I remember the controller and the feel, and it was kind of like, I was younger, so I was like half eating the controller.
I just would stick a controller in his hand and in his little swing next to me, and I basically used him to play through Legendary, because what would happen is I would get killed and he was my spawn point. I realized that he was getting into it as I'm standing there. I just respawned, and next thing you know, his character's running past me to fight the aliens and immediately gets killed, and then he just, gale of laughter. He's just giggling and laughing, and I knew that I knew that was it. There was no stopping him with video games at that point.
2 years into Canton, I was in the game design major still, and then I started to realize that it kind of wasn't for me. Definitely at the end of spring 2020, I was like, yeah, I'm going to swap majors. It started off slow. We were just like learning the esports management major together. After the first year, definitely became a solid major with like a framework of what to do, what to focus on.
At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage your SUNY-Canton esports athletes, Kal-El Key.
I don't think the college fully knows what they're doing with it. Not because there's anything wrong with what they're doing, it's just because it's so new. But as a parent, you know, my son is going into this uncharted territory. The esports is in what I call the silent movie era right now. They're still learning what it is. They're still learning the best ways of doing things, and it hasn't matured yet. It hasn't become like CinemaScope, Color, the talkies, you know, Spielberg. We're still back in Edison.
We are about to be moving to Oklahoma, which is, just a short hop, skip, and away from here.
As it turns out, in Tulsa, there's multiple esports arenas that my son could work at, so that means he could start his own if he wants. And there's a couple of colleges there that have esports programs that he could get a job with, and they're very big programs.
With esports, event planner, like, that's the big one. That's the one you're shooting for, and even the smaller tournaments are really big. Esports coordinator is, you can communicate with other colleges, build up an esports arena, and you can even just have, like, you can build your own tournament. And so there's a bunch of jobs where you can do tournament-based, dealing with the people, like, and it's very versatile. There's the high school, the local high school that my brother's going to be attending and my mom's going to be looking to work at as well, where they have actually 2 esports teams that I'm looking to say, hey, maybe they have a job opening for a coach there, any local colleges, that type of thing.
3, 2, 1.
So this one's more of the, well, it's like the city basically, and you got the long little avenues, and then the points a circle with about 5 different spots to go into it. Some of the fears are like, some of the colleges I'm going to be looking at applying in the area maybe haven't gotten the esports like for their students going yet, which on the flip side I can potentially work on getting it added, but it's still going to be tough to do. It's going to be a challenge, but It would be an obstacle that, if you get past it, is really big. I will gladly take that death. Yeah, taking out their like main source of damage and their main healer is a very worthy death for just your tank. But the fear is if someone's not willing to allow me to try and put the effort in, or not willing to see the value in it, that's the struggle point of it's going to be really hard to change their mind. I think the failure would be on the other end, where if I go and I try to teach and then it's well, maybe I'm not effective at it. That's one of my fears, is maybe I'm not super effective at it. I'm excited. I'm hoping it's the next leg of my journey that's going to be able to get me to my success. Because the job opportunities, comparatively, honestly, around here I know them, they're stagnant, but Oklahoma, like, there's more central to the country. I have chances to, well, I can move over to this state or this county, move a little bit. It's like a seed where if you put it in a pot, it can only grow there, but if you put it outside, its roots can go wider. She is dead. Yep, and that is game over. We won.